Act like you like it. We're surrounded by Omanis.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Good afternoon, adventurers.
Hello there.
Last time you guys saw us, we were leaving the Desert Nights camp. We've traveled about 2 hours west over to Nizwa. We are in the mountains now, you guys.
Yes, although Nizwa is on a plain, but it is surrounded by these magical mountains. We're slowly making our way up there, but we had to stop by this city.
The main attraction in this city is this beautiful fort behind us, Nizwa Fort. I hope we're saying that right. Nizwa? We're really not sure.
It's a fort, but also a castle, so a fort castle. We're really excited to show you guys the architecture in here because it is pretty unique. I don't think we've ever seen a building quite like it.
This fort is pretty old. It was built in 1650. We are going to enter and explore it and then share a little bit more about the fort as we make our way through it. All right, let's go inside.
You can't go that way.
Can't go that way. We are inside the fort now. This thing is beautiful, it's grand, it's incredible, all the good adjectives.
It looks from pictures almost pretty barren, just like these walls, but I didn't think there was going to be much else inside, but there's so much in here, so much greenery, all these little workshops, there's all sorts of stuff going on.
We also found out that included in the 5 Rial ticket price, you get a guided tour, and this is the starting point of the guided tour right inside the fort.
Yeah, and there should be one in about 5-10 minutes, so they'll tell us everything we need to know to let you guys know about the fort.
Exactly. This contraption here is actually how they get water to the fort. This is basically just a well. Well, it goes way down.
It was so far.
Yeah, but apparently they have a bunch of these around the fort, so they get like a consistent supply of water.
Apparently households in Oman at least used to all have their own well.
Yeah,
now
in the house.
Yeah, you can't do it anymore. I guess you have to get special permission to dig one, but the fort is built on an underground stream. So
so there's plenty of water to go around. I think that's why they chose the location.
They make Omani bread here. This is so cool. You just sit down, they do it all right in front of you. It smells amazing.
So we got egg and cheese on there.
And honey, I think.
It was recommended to us.
Yeah. Honey cheese?
You don't have like it in the US.
Thank you. This is so cool. I did not think we were going to be getting a treat here within the fort. So honey is not my favorite thing, but Eric loves it, so we'll see how it goes. Oh my gosh. It's so good. What is this?
It's black pepper.
Ah, that's what I was about to say. I tasted a little something in there. There's also black pepper in there. Egg, cheese, honey, black pepper in crepe-like Omani bread.
It pretty much can't be bad.
This is fantastic.
If we could figure out how to make the dough, we could make this.
Yeah.
Could happen.
I would for sure be eating this for breakfast. It's delicious.
Yes.
So that's all that's in there. Brown flour, salt, and water.
No oil, no eggs,
oil?
no milk.
Wow. That's awesome. Tastes very good. Nice work. We figured out why it's kind of called a castle and a fort. It turns out this big old building up here, this is the fort. And then this part over here that's attached to it, that's the castle. The fort is actually illustrated by this giant mural here. And it's basically talking about the different ways that you kill people who are trying to assault the fort and get in. Maybe we'll go inside the fort and then tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, just know, this fort is legit.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Let's go.
Welcome to our lovely fort. First you'll notice, yes, a grade A murder hole right here. So this is a trap door, leads to a pit where if you survive the hot oil or date oil or water falling on you, you fell to your death down here.
Yeah. I think this is technically the murder hole.
Oh, this is the murder hole.
Yeah, because they dump stuff down here to murder you.
Ah, okay, murder hole leading to the death, more murder hole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
but
onward.
yeah.
And here is yet another one. So pretty much every doorway has a trap door there, and then a murder. Does this one have a murder hole? Oh yeah, murder hole up there.
Bring a really sturdy umbrella and some pants where you can jump around.
This illustrates all the pitfalls and murder holes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just to get up this staircase. It's crazy.
Could you imagine if you were like trying to come in for safety and you forgot to tell them
Oh,
that
yeah.
you were running in, and then you're like, ah!
Made it to the top. Views are spectacular.
Oh my word.
So much more greenery than I thought there would be. Just palm trees as far as the eye can see. And then we're in this valley that's just surrounded by all these mountains.
Literally
Wow.
360 degrees of mountains.
That is insane.
This fort is super impressive. Not only does it have the series of, I guess, death traps leading to it up here.
Which were quite impressive.
Yes, they were quite impressive and very, very deadly. But the fort itself actually goes 30 meters underground. And so there's actually 30 meters of fort above ground. So 30 below, 30 above, and the diameter is 36 meters. So this puppy is huge. I also read that there are 24 spaces for cannons up here. And up around the top, there are actually 480 gun ports. So they could have guns aiming any which direction, all directions.
So that's what all those little alcoves are for?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I think it said though it can only fit like 120 guards up there. So I guess it's just that they can change location, positions.
You wouldn't want to be storming this fort, basically.
No.
We found a cute little Omani kitty.
Aww.
Hey, buddy. We've barely seen any cats here, and this is the first one that's actually been social. We've gotten more love from camels than we have from cats.
We stopped for a quick little snack, and we are loving. They have these little wraps that are less than $1 USD.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe just a little bit over. We got a kebab wrap, and it looks like it just has some fresh veg in there, maybe mayo, maybe tahini, I'm not sure. But the perfect thing. I think
Yeah.
Eric was about to pass out from hunger.
Yeah, we actually started this day at the desert camp, and I ate those waffles that I showed you, and they were delicious. But if I start the day off with sweets by about noon, I'm just all of a sudden my blood sugar gets lower, something like that.
Plummets, so he needed something.
So I needed
fast,
something. But
so.
these are the perfect little snack, and they have these all over at these little restaurants.
Yeah, this is, I think, the coffee shop at the Fort Coffee Shop. So
Yeah.
prices are very reasonable. We got a little juice.
Yep, this
mint
is
lemonade.
it's
or
like fizzy
watermelon lemonade.
lemonade. It's really delicious.
Yeah.
But we're gonna eat this and then continue exploring once I have a little
Being awkward
energy.
and- Yeah, eat this and go explore.
This is over.
Outside of the Nizwa Fort is the souk, which is the marketplace here in Nizwa. And I believe it's the second biggest one, only next to Muscat's. But it's really neat. So we entered into, I guess, like the pottery and home goods section. And I think a lot of it is handmade. But they also should have vegetable market, a meat market, all sorts of goodies here.
So we're just gonna peruse around.
Yeah.
It's literally right next door to the fort.
Oh yeah, it's just like a 2-minute walk. You walk by cafes and stuff, so if you need to get a little bite to eat, it's perfect. The sun has gone down a little bit, it's cooling off a bit.
Oh, yeah, it's very nice.
It feels so amazing.
Dates are everywhere in Oman, as you've heard in our previous videos. Nizwa is actually known for its date palms, which they grow on those palm trees, and they look like just these huge sacks hanging off the trees. But they also have this thing called date syrup, which I think they just let the dates sit and then they slowly turn into this syrup. But apparently it tastes a lot like honey. This vendor right here has a bunch of different vats of it. I don't know if they're different types or not, but some of them are lighter in color, some of them are darker. Hopefully we'll get the chance to actually taste some. Maybe the coolest souk, which just means market, is the goat market. You heard me right. On Fridays, if you're here early enough, you will see this area full of goats, and Omanis will be here showing off their goats, and they walk them around, and then if you decide you like one, you say, I'll have that goat, you bring it home, and then I think you eat it, usually. But not always? I don't know.
In my case, I just take it home and hang out with it.
Yeah, we
Pet it
just
a lot.
buy it as a pet. I'm so sad we're not gonna be here on Friday because I wanted to see this completely full of goats and people buying and selling them. I thought it would be such a cool experience, but we've got some other things we're gonna be doing on Friday, so, which we won't let the cat out of the bag, what that's gonna be. Allison just said I should have said, don't let the goat out of the bag. It's
Would have
missed
been,
opportunity.
Yep, missed opportunity. Would have been so
Just
funny.
Act like I said that.
Yeah.
It would have been really funny. Damn. There's this dessert here in Oman that I've been dying to try. They have a whole bar of it with all kinds of different types, and I asked him if I could have a taste, and he pulled out a big tray for me to try. This is a big old vat of halwa. I think that's how you say it. Whoa, very interesting. It's so crusty on the top. Oh, it's so gelatinous. There you go. There's actually a ton of stuff inside this. Conveniently, they have all the ingredients right here. So, saffron, nuts, rosewater, starch, cardamom, ghee, white sugar, brown sugar, water. So I think they have a lot of different types, so there must be different variations of all these ingredients, but that's everything that's in this little gelatinous ball. So you can see it has this crusty bit on the top, some little white bits on the inside, which I guess are the nuts, and then all the rest of the goo. Oh, wow, interesting. You get a lot of the nut flavor. Oh, it's such a gooey, gummy, sticky texture on the inside. I really feel like the rose water comes through. I've only ever had rose water once or twice in my life, but I really feel like that's what I'm tasting the most. And then you get a little bit of the cardamom and the saffron, pretty strong. It's really interesting that it has ghee in it, because ghee is just butter that's been clarified. You can really feel the texture of the ghee in the halwa, because it just makes it less creamy and more just like gelatinous or something like that. If you haven't tried ghee, try it. But I will warn you, it is very expensive.
So, real talk, we don't actually understand any of what's happening here. There's quite a few people and they're all just digging into what we're thinking is just free samples. We're not really sure. I think they have tea or coffee too, but there's so many people and they just all keep coming up and taking a big spoonful.
And they're all just chilling. We're the only foreigners here too, which is really fun.
So I don't know if they try it and then they get their actual dish of it to take home. I don't know. If you know what's happening, let us know.
I'm really excited to see what you think of this.
I don't think I'm gonna like it, judging by
I was kind
your
of
description.
mixed on it. You better act like you like it. We're surrounded by Omanis.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Dang.
It's just so gooey and jelly. It's like the inside of a jelly bean or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a little spicy with the cardamom in there.
The taste really just stays in your mouth too. Well, I'm really glad we got to try it. It was super interesting. If you haven't tried it, you should definitely give it a try, see if you like it. I don't know if it was exactly our jam, but it was interesting.
No, and it looks like, I think there's like a billion different types, judging from all the different containers they have here. So maybe you can spice it up any way you want and make it to your liking. We are in the mountains now, and we were just heading out to that last stop we wanted to take you guys, and it's really hard to get to. We keep running into these dead ends. Look at this one. It's just a turn and someone put a bunch of rocks there because I guess the road's washed away out there. But then we found there's kind of an off-road track right there that they made. Luckily we have 4-wheel drive, so we're doing it. It's gonna be fine. We're not sure if any of this is right. We're just driving in the middle of a wadi right now, which is just like a valley or a riverbed. The place we're trying to get to is somewhere over there, according to the map. We're just driving through a bunch of houses or something now. Not sure if this is the right way. The place we want to get to is over there, though. Well, we found a spot that's pretty far away from where we're trying to go, and we'll pinpoint it on the map, but I think you basically have to park there, and then we're just hoping this is the way. It doesn't look exactly like a way, but I don't know, it's a path through the fields, which is what they said.
Yeah, someone on the Google reviews said, oh, you have to park and then go through the farms. So it looks like we're going through the farms. It's actually this archaeology site up there on the hill. That's what we're trying to get to. We're just walking in a wadi now. Seems like not the right place to be, but this really seems like the only way to get there. It turns out if you have 4-wheel drive, you just have to go through some weird roads, but you can drive through that riverbed, come up here and then park right at the base of this place. But we have arrived to the Beehive Tombs. How old would you guess these structures behind me are? Well, they are estimated to be 4,000 to 5,000 years old. That's insane. Some of the oldest stuff we've ever seen in our lives. These are called the Beehive Tombs because they are shaped like little beehives, and this is a really important archaeological site because it is so old but still so well preserved considering how old it is. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is really interesting because there's no signs pointing to it. I usually associate UNESCO Heritage Sites with, tourist attractions, but there's no other tourists here. You can have the whole place to yourself. Some of these you can actually go inside of them. I don't think I'm brave enough to go inside of them because they look like they could collapse at any moment. But I mean, they haven't collapsed yet. It's been 5,000 years, so I guess they're probably sturdier than most places. Yeah, I guess the weather must not be very harsh in this area. It floods down below, but I guess up here, it's okay. If you want anything to last, I guess this is where you build it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you come to Oman, I hope you get to make some of these stops that we're making because it's all been awesome so far.
Yeah, and there are tons of forts and all sorts of neat abandoned historic structures and towns all over the country.
Yeah, there's a lot to see here.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we are finally going to go to Wadi Dam, which we've been dying to see that. It's going to be in our next video, so we're going to pick up there. But for now, we're just going to try to make our way back to our car without dying on all these rocks.
Goodbye, adventurers.
We'll see you on the road.